welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Nat, and I am the person behind The Skimp Brit, which originally started as a debt payoff journey, which then became cash stuffing and has slowly become a little success, I guess successful. It's successful to me, small business. And at the beginning of 2025, I actually did made myself a load of little goals I wanted to complete this year, that were kind of like personal goals and a mix of like little businessy bits. I think they're businessy bits as well. No, yes, one business bit. I've got my goals next to me. So if you followed me along this journey, you might have seen some bits like this. But I actually made the goals to try and be attainable and achievable. Like, I didn't focus on numbers at all last year or this year, but now it's Christmas Eve, I thought we could kind of do a little bit of a wrap up. So every year I do a bullet journal. So this is my bullet journal for this year. She is heckin' chunky. She needs photos in her as well. I still haven't added photos, so she'll be getting bigger. There is extra pages adding in the back. I had to sellotape extra pages in because I ran out of space. But this is where I keep everything, like all of my positives, all of my feelings, everything goes into this journal, and I do it every single year. And I've been doing them since 2016, I think. I've got like a whole drawer full of journals, and they're so big, but I love looking back through them and seeing where I was in my life at that time. But when I start them, I always start with a word of the year, which this year was nurture. You can't see it great, but I've added like loads of stickers and bits, because my goal for the year was to nurture myself and my business and just general things. So that was the word that felt the most in tune with how I wanted my 2025 to be. So I did put the description of it. So it's the action or process of nurturing someone or something. So obviously that's how we were going about it. And then my next page is always goals. So my goals, I'm going to put the book in front of me. So the first goal I've got on there is to keep making cash stuffing videos. So I'm going to give that a tick because I have cash stuffed and recorded every single week in 2025. We've only got one more week to go of 2025, and then that'll be the whole year done. So I'm gonna take that straight away because I am planning on filming on Friday. It is Boxing Day, but we're actually having a quiet day Boxing Day, so I will be filming then. The next one is to get our garden usable. So if you guys have been following me for a little while, you'll see that we moved into a house last summer, so summer of 2024. And the garden was an absolute disaster. I will probably leave some photos so you guys can see. It was an absolute disaster. You couldn't sit out there. It was literally like the tiniest of patios. You could put one chair on if you were lucky. So we were able to get our garden done. It looks amazing. It was finished, and then 3 days later, we've had all the rain and the storms and the cold. So it's usable, we just haven't been able to use it, if I'm completely honest. But I'm so happy with it. My mum was very kind and helped us out with that. She lent us the money for it, and we've been paying her back pretty much every single week since the summer. So that is, yeah, that's one of my debts that I'm working on for 2026, hopefully. My other goal was to clear down one more debt. So I've actually got my what's it called? I've got my spreadsheet up in front of me, just so I thought I could have a look through it. And at the beginning of the year, we had the Aquacard, we had PC World. I didn't realise I still had PC World at the beginning of the year. So I had PC World at the beginning of the year and Capital One. So I had 3, so I had a loan and 2 credit cards still open at the beginning of the year. And we've managed to pay all 3 of those off. And the only debt we've got left now is my mum, which is insane. So I was only planning on getting 1 debt cleared. And yeah, we've cleared 3. So how much have we cleared in debt? So the Aqua card at the beginning of the year was set at 1,300. The Capital One has been fluctuating because I have used it, so I'm not gonna like include that for a minute. And PC World was 520. So yeah, we've paid probably like £2,000 in debt this year. Oh no, yeah, the debt payoff so far this year is £2,914. That's insane. That's so much money. That's so much money that has had to be paid back onto debt that next year it will literally just be paying off my mum, that's absolutely mad. So yeah, I wanted to clear one more debt. I ended up clearing 3, which is insane. And another goal I had for kind of like my business was to learn to make stickers. So I've wanted a Cricut for a little while. And in the end, I was chatting to Gemma, my tattoo artist, and she designs her stickers, but she gets them manufactured. And actually, to be honest, that process was so much easier. So I have made stickers this year. I will insert a picture of the stickers I made. I only made my first set of stickers quite a while ago now, it would have been. But I'm so pleased with them, and I don't think I would have been able to get the quality of them if I did it from home, and it would have been a much bigger startup payment. So yeah, I'm pretty glad that I made stickers, but I made them in a different way. Yeah, and I've sold a couple of them, not loads, because obviously I'm not a stationery business, I'm a cash stuffing business, but I would like to branch into some of the stationery stuff because I am a big bullet journaler, and I would love to be able to go down that route at some point. That would be amazing. And then I have a couple of goals that are like home goals. So one of my goals, it seems so silly, was to make sushi. So I love Japanese stuff. I don't like fish. For anyone, this is actually probably a good way to clear it up. So if anyone says I don't like sushi because I don't like raw fish, sushi is not raw fish. Sushi is the rice with the sushi vinegar. That is literally what sushi is. So you can do you can do veggie, you can do chicken, you can do fish if you want, you could do cooked fish. There's so many options. It's so versatile. You just have the rice and you just make it up. So we did that. We make a lot of veggie sushi now. We learned how to make that at the beginning of the year. We started with a sushi bazooka that I got for Christmas, and we've now moved up to the bamboo roll mats, which actually really wasn't too hard to actually make. I was quite surprised. So yeah, if anyone has thought about having sushi before or wanted to try and make it, it's not too bad to make. It's worth just looking at a couple of videos on it. But to be honest, we found it not too bad. It was pretty easy. So yeah, as one of my big goals I've wanted to achieve for a long time. So we did that, and then I have got a secret goal I have not completed, so I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm gonna literally skin that one over. That's gonna be going to next year again. We'll just keep moving it forward until it happens. But my other goal I got on my list was read a book a month. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will see I've read a lot this year. So my goal of reading one book a month has been completed. But I've also read, I think it's like 39 books, including audiobooks. Like I've concluded audiobooks and that because there's certain books I struggle to read because of the terminology. So like the Harry Potter books, I've never been able to physically read. So having them on audio, so much easier. I'm so glad. I'm in my 30s, but I've finally been able to listen to the Harry Potter books, listen to the Narnia books, Hunger Games, like just really weird books that I always wanted to read as a teenager and could never read because my brain just couldn't process it. So yeah, I've read almost 40 books. I'm hoping to get it to the 40 before the end of the year. I think nearly halfway through my book I'm reading at the moment, so I should be able to get that finished by the end of the year. But yeah, so yeah, that is all my goals for the year. that are all ticked off pretty much. There's literally only one goal out of those that I didn't get to, but again, it wasn't a number based goal. It was just a goal that was out of my control. So it's more like a wish, I guess. But yes, so that is all my goals. So I have spent the past, probably since the beginning of December, it is Christmas Eve now, so I guess about 3.5 weeks, I have been having a think about what goals I want to have for 2026. Because I don't want to just like write stuff down willy-nilly. I want it to be things that work for me, that are what my soul wants. So and trying to make them attainable and achievable, so they're not like huge goals. So yeah, I've got quite a list of goals. I've kind of split them up this year. So we have got personal, so like the self-love and fun goals that are personal to me. We've got health, we've got relationships, and we've got business/money. So I put business and money together, just to, I think it makes more sense having it all in those sections. And it itches my brain having the organisation. What do I start with? Let's start with personal. It's probably the easiest. So I have put it down again. I have put read a book a month, because as a teenager, obviously I used to read, obviously you guys, as a teenager I used to read a lot, and then suddenly I just fell out of love with reading. And I'll go through bursts where I'll read for a year and then I won't read again for a long time. But I've kind of got myself into a good routine of reading every night before I go to bed. So I would like to keep that up, keep reading a book a month. I don't want to make a goal bigger than that, because I don't want to stress myself out, because it's meant to be a goal, and a hobby that's a joy. So I have put that down. So a book a month. So even, again, if I could read 12 books next year, perfect. If you guys have any romantasy recommendations of books, I don't mind a bit of smut, not gonna lie. If you guys have any book recommendations, please let me know in the comments. That I would be very grateful. And my other goal for my personal one is to go on holiday. So we didn't go on a holiday this year, and I don't think we went on a holiday last year either. We haven't been on a holiday since 2023, so it would be really nice to go on a little holiday. We are going to be saving up to go to Disneyland for a honeymoon next year, for 2026, but it would be nice if we could just get like a little caravan holiday just to get away for a week. That would be incredible. It's not like, I know a lot of people do go on holiday every year. It's not always as easy as that. So, but everyone needs a break. You need a break from your home just to get away. So that is one of my big goals for next year. And my other one for myself, my little fun weird self that I am, my little nerd, is I want to buy myself a Pokemon game off of my list I've got on my phone. So on my phone I have a list of Pokemon games, and I tick them off every time I kind of buy one. I had them all as a child. I didn't have them all as a child. I had quite a lot of them as a child, but I kind of like, I would love to recollect them, because it's something that has made my soul happy since I was a child, and it's just like, that love hasn't faded. I absolutely adore Pokemon still, so I would absolutely love to be able to collect those games again. So yeah, that's my plan, is to get at least one off of the list, because they aren't cheap. They really aren't cheap. So in my personal binder, I have one section that is for treats. So yeah, I do want to treat myself to a new game for me, so it makes me happy. Yeah, they aren't cheap, but I know for me, for my personal joy, I want them. And the next section is health. So just for that one, I have put down to keep eating healthy. So it's not something I've really talked about much in a long time, because it used to stress me out so much. But during the summer I had a couple of blood tests done because I wasn't feeling great. And it turns out I had a really poor liver function. So, and I'd put on a lot of weight since I'd become chronically ill and haven't been able to do as much movement as I did before. So, I have been working to try and lose this weight. I've kept it to myself, like not many people know I've been doing it. And I just want to keep that going. I want to keep that consistency. I'm working with a health coach as well, and it's going really, really good, to be honest. I'm really happy with as far as I've got so far, but I need to keep going. So just that consistency of keeping to eat healthy and lose weight, that's kind of what I'm going for, but I'm not doing it in a way that it pressures me, if that makes sense. I'm not worried about the numbers, it's just my health, so I'm just working on that. And actually another health goal is I actually want to get a visible wristband to help with my chronic health. I'm going to write that down in a minute because I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to add that to the list, because actually that's another thing that I think would help me. And oh my god, why am I thinking about this now? A wheelchair has been one that's been on my wish list for a long time as well, just so I can at least go out and access places safely and I'm not gonna be putting my body in so much pain. So actually, yeah, that's another one that will go into health. So okay, we have a couple more to add into health. I will be doing that in a bit when I stop filming. The next section is relationships. So as you guys know, I got engaged just over a year ago now. We were planning to get married this year, but it just hasn't happened. We've had a lot of other focuses. So for 2026 we are getting married, I hope. My friend's going to help us with planning, like dealing with the planning, because I don't understand anything about it. I never thought I'd be someone who would get married, if I'm completely honest. I never thought I'd be the person to get married, but here we are. But yes, so yeah, we're planning on getting married next year. We have a binder ready set up and I'm excited. I'm really, really excited for this chapter. So yeah, we're going to be doing it on a budget because I would rather spend money on other things, if I'm completely honest. But it's just going to be really nice. It's just going to be the two of us, my sister, Scott's sister, and hopefully his nephew as well. That's literally all we want. So yeah, that is one of our goals for next year. And my other one is to spend more time with friends. So this year I've been online a lot more. I've been a lot more of a recluse. But I think that's been down to my health a lot more. But I didn't realise how much I need that social time with my friends. Because over this year and probably last year as well, I only spent maybe 4 or 5 days out of the 365 days with my friends. So it's something I feel that I need to work on a lot more. And even if it's just like meeting up for a cup of tea and stuff, like I feel like that's something I need a lot more of in my life. So me and my friends have kind of said we're going to try and work a bit harder just to meet up for, to go over to each other's houses, maybe have a takeaway and stuff like that. Because we used to do it a lot and then just suddenly it's just kind of like whittled down. We've all got our own lives, but I think we've got so much other stuff going on in our own lives that we don't get a chance to continue those relationships. So that's something I really, really want to work on for 2026. That's one of my big goals as well, is to spend a lot more time with my friends. And I can't really explain any more than that. And then the last section we have is business/money. So I want to continue the goal of cash stuffing every week. I've done it every week this year, and I think again that's another consistency thing. It keeps me accountable, and it's something I would really like. I've got into a good rhythm of where my money is going now, so I would like to keep continuing it. I might try and go a little bit digital, but at the moment I don't trust myself enough to put the money in my bank. So I think that's just a goal of willpower I need to work on, but I do want to continue cash stuffing. And my other one, I've got a lot of business things. Yeah, a lot of them are mainly business based. But as well as cash stuffing every week, I do really want to get at least half of the debt to my mum gone. If not more, that would be incredible. I'd love to do that. And so we owe my mum, I think, about £5,000 still. So if we can get that down to 2.5, that would be incredible. So that is, yeah, one of my big money goals for next year, as well as like obviously funding like Disney and funding a wedding. Yeah, I would love to be able to do that, but all of that comes into cash stuffing, I think. So on my business side of things, I want to decorate this office. So as you guys can see, it's full of like pictures and it's a bit chaotic. I've kind of got myself into a colour scheme cohesive brand now, I feel. I've changed all of my stuff over digitally, and it's all kind of tied into my love of journaling and cash stuffing. So I kind of want to keep that more cohesive template going. I kind of want to build it into this room as well. So I've asked for some shelves for Christmas to decorate this room a bit more. And I do want to paint it. So that is one of my goals for next year, is just to decorate this room and make it more the Skimp Brit, more like fun and airy and just a general, like just a general funness to it. That's, yeah, that's one of my big goals for next year, is to do that. And within that is why I create a cohesive colour scheme. So I have kind of like worked on a colour scheme for a little while. I've had colours that I'm always drawn to. So I've kind of want to bring that out into the real world and maybe hopefully bring it into some of my challenges in 2026. That's, yeah, another big goal. And then I have got a sales goal. I have one sales goal for next year. I would like to reach 1,000 sales on Etsy. So I was looking back the other day at my growth, and the beginning of this year, I think it was March, we only just hit 200 sales on Etsy. And now we are sat at 845 sales. So my goal for next year would be just to get it to 1,000 sales on Etsy. If we can get to 1,000 sales, I will be beyond, like, I'm beyond grateful as it is, but I would love to be able to reach 1,000 sales. So I've set the bar quite low, it sounds, but I don't want to push myself, and I don't want to be a person who is constantly pushing for sales. I want to be sharing my knowledge of how to make stuff, and my own experience with cash stuffing and paying off debt. I don't want it just to be about money and sales. So if I could reach 1,000 sales, that would be incredible. But I'm not gonna push it. And then my other ones are, I'd love to reach 1,000 subs on YouTube so that I can monetize my YouTube. So I had a look earlier, and I haven't really checked it out recently. But my YouTube is actually sat at 299 subs. So we have 299 friends over on YouTube. Although this video is going on YouTube. Hi guys. So 299 friends over on YouTube. I know it's subs and you get followers, but the way I kind of think about it is those people, those 299 people have chosen to follow me for a reason. And every single I am so grateful for, and for every person that is like a friend. Everyone's a friend. Like, I will always see you that way as a friend. But yeah, I would love to be able to get to 1,000 so that we can monetize YouTube as well. That would be a big thing, because then at least that will be able to be like a passive income that will be able to go towards my cash stuffing, to my debts. So I would love to be able to do that. But yeah, that is my YouTube goal. I also have a TikTok goal of reaching 6,000 followers. So I'm currently sat at 407. I'm currently sat at 4,750 followers on TikTok. So TikTok has been one of my fastest growing platforms and one of my most engaged platforms. It has dropped a lot recently because of everything that's happened this year. My showcase has been restricted. I've had videos restricted. And TikTok's been no help, if I'm completely honest. So my TikTok shop has not done well. But so I've been focusing a lot more on Etsy. But for my actual TikTok account, I would love to be able to reach 6,000 followers. That would be incredible. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not gonna stress about it because it is something that's completely out of my control. And that's something that I need to focus on as well, is stuff that's out of my control, but what can I do to help get it there? So I would love to be able to get to 6,000 followers on TikTok. My last goal is to get to 2,000 followers on Instagram. So Instagram has always been like one of my slow burners, the same as YouTube. It's just is a slow burner account. But I love Instagram. Instagram has always been my favorite platform to use. And it's the one I'm probably most active on, if I'm completely honest. I just find it really easy and really smooth to use, so I'm always using Instagram. But yeah, again, it's a slow burner, so I would love to be able to get to 2,000 followers. Let me just check. So I'm currently sat at 1,942 followers on Instagram. So it would be really nice to be able to get that up to 2,000. I have had my Instagram's probably the account I've had the longest. I've had that since March of 2022. But it's always been a slow burner, but is definitely one of my best platforms, because I've been able to like talk to a lot of people. I've been able to engage with a lot of people, and honestly, I've made some of my best friends on there, like my best cash stuffing and budgeting friends through Instagram. And I wouldn't be without them, to be honest. I've made chronic illness friends on there, and I find that the friendships I've made on there are a lot deeper, if that makes sense. Yeah, but yeah, so that is, I think that's my last goal. It sounds like a lot, it feels like a lot, but I feel like my word of the year will be consistency. So I think the goals are achievable. I just need to try and stay consistent and know what my goals are. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mood board. Thanks to the lovely Rainbow Budgets Plans sharing her mood board and her goals, like list and stuff. I really want to make a physical one to go on my wall. I do have physical ones in my journals, but obviously it's a page you have to flip open all the time. But I feel like having one that is right there for my brain, if it's right in front of me, it exists. If I can't see it, it doesn't exist anymore. So having one physically made, I feel like would be a really good way to keep working towards my goals. So I'm going to be making one of those, I think, over the Christmas break. I think that'll be quite a nice thing to do, a nice little like crafty cozy activity. So I'm going to be doing that, and I will probably show you guys it. I might bring you along for it depending on how Christmas goes. But yeah, let me know what your goals are for the year. Do you have any personal fun goals? Do you have any money goals, any relationship goals? Yeah, let me know in the comments, or if you've got any ideas of videos you'd like me to do to help with like the consistency, or what you would like to see as a beginner budgeter, or just someone who's been in this business, been in this community for so long. Yeah, let me know. And if you have watched all the way to the end, please leave me a little star emoji if you can't think of any goals or don't want to share your goals with me, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, leave me a little star. And I hope you have a lovely, 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 lovely time over Christmas. I'm hoping to get this up between Christmas and New Year, but we will see what happens because life happens a lot of the time. But yeah, have a lovely time, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.